miss when I was gay.
Kratos, you know not what you do. There are things far more important than your revenge.
What?
Zeus did what he must to protect Olympus. Gaia speaks nothing but half-truths and falsehoods.
Wait, is Helios Apollo?
The Titans are not to be trusted.
No? Oh. I never heard of Helios.
Zeus feared the destruction of all they stand on.
Helios is Helios? Oh, I've never heard of Helios as a Helio. That just reminds me of what a cool name Daedalus is. I think I really like Daedalus. I'm gonna look up Daedalus. Daedalus. Let me see if he's problematic. Okay, so he's a skillful architect and a craftsman, a symbol of wisdom, knowledge, and power. The father of Icarus. Oh, so he was the one that made the wings? I mean, to be fair, he did tell him not to fly too close to the sun. I like Daedalus. I think that's a cool name. I think if I get a cat, I'm gonna name it Daedalus. And then I'm gonna call him Lucy for short. You know, is it considered rude if you have a friend who has a cat and you decided and they have a name for the cat, but then you decide to just adopt their cat, but you don't take it or anything? It's just every time you visit, you call the cat the name you want to call it. Like, let's say you named your cat Steven, and then every time I visit your cat, I'm like, oh, hello, kitty. I'm going to call you Martha now. Hello, Martha. Why did you say that name? Black Adam was such a good movie. Wow, I hope everybody watches it. You should watch it twice. Like, there's a lot of hidden details that I think would... This is not gonna take forever. Oh, it worked. I don't know. I guess I'll just pull it. And hope that they walk over there. Can I grab them? No. I'm assuming if you hit them enough, they get staggered, maybe? There we go. Ow. diving in here? Yeah. Under the sea. Under the sea. See, Kratos can do underwater cave diving because he no longer has a loving wife and kid at home. So he'll be fine. Is this a cut? What? Huh? Oh. It just froze. Nice camera angles. Am I gonna watch Black Adam a second time? I'm actually gonna watch it a third time. I was thinking about it. It's really good. There's a lot of hidden details if you watch it a second time that makes the movie even better. So I highly recommend it. We should watch Black Adam every day. Every day is Black Adam Day. What the fuck is this? What does this do? Oh. Looks good. Can I rotate this? What is this? Why was there a trumpet jump scare? Thing up here? This is actually kind of giving Tomb Raider. I can go all over here? Creative. What god does Lara Croft belong to? I would say probably Artemis. Look, I am a Jackie Chan cookie. My fans are so creative. But if this doesn't go down, then okay, then it has to be up here. Hello. Zeus! Fucking giant thing's blocking me. The moon goddess, oh, Selene from Hades 2. Gorgeous. Oh, actually, yeah. That doesn't go anywhere. I have to push this all the way around the other way? Oh my god. Just wait for me, Zeus! Once I push these pillars, it's fucking over for Olympus. No. 1 second. Okay, there's nothing else here, so maybe... Am I supposed to break this? Can I spin this? Oh! Wait, can I push this down? I can't tell. Kind of hard to see what I can interact with. Can I rotate the bottom? Is there a handle that I can't see? The Rock promoted his drink and blackout. He surprisingly did not. In my iron temple, it smells of the Rock is cooking. I missed one. Try this. Wow, it was just the last one I missed. Now I can rotate that. Okay. You think I get banned from Letterboxd? What is this? Actually, I need more max HP stuff. What's Hudson's Williams nipples been up to? Is it a rivalry slop still being made? Their nipples are about to meet each other. They're even getting even more centered. I like when nipples point outwards. He's getting canceled over high school photos? Why? What did he do? Is this slurs? Some swastikas? Uh-oh. How does normal for them to be sent? No! I like non-centered nipples! I like nipples that point outward because when you have nice developed pecs, it looks more proportionate. What is this? This is very important to me. Nipple placement. Yeah, the Silas cosplayer had an outward nipples. Okay, so I went back and looked. When I was editing my reel that I posted, he laughed. Because when he put my hand on his chest, I made this face. I was like... He looks like he laughed. I bet that's when I froze it. Yeah, his eyes went like, cause I have the higher resolution version. Let me find it. Let's see if I can show you what his face looks like normally. But his eye smiles are very pretty. Wait. Yeah, I didn't get his topless day, unfortunately. Let me find... Well, the makeup artist was 8. Yeah, he definitely laughed. Hold on, it's not... You see that? He definitely laughed. Because my face... Maybe if I could... I think you can see it a little bit. Yeah, I was like that basically. And then I think that made him laugh. Cause I didn't expect him to grab my hand to giga touchy titty. Yeah, I did the blink meme. Why are these bugs everywhere? Are there holes that I need to get rid of? Did I shave for the lads meet and greet? No, but I have to. I can't have a bush because I swim. So I can't like go to the fucking pool and have a fucking entire shrubbery out, you know? Shaving! Shaving before you go to the Love and Deep Space booth just in case. That's funny. Do bush mess with aerodynamics? No, it's just because usually swimsuit bottoms are thin. You're gonna have your bush peeking out the sides. Are these infinitely spawning? They say they're the girl jump. Yeah, he's very professional, but then apparently the people that were being a little inappropriate get pulled aside, and then they have to talk to him. The staff also talks to him. Be like, hey, like, by the way, you probably shouldn't encourage it, because, you know, they're weird. But it's also very bad because I don't know if you guys saw the just straight up incel responses to the whole situation. I took a gander and it was like way worse than I thought. I thought it was just people whining a little bit, but it was like, let me show you a screenshot I took. The Foids lining up for the lads booth all looked over 150 pounds, while the ones lined up for Blue Archive booth all looked under 120 pounds. And then if you look at the photo, like every single girl at the booth, it's not fat. Like, if I were to be very factual and be like, oh, every girl is over 150 pounds, I don't think so. I think I see maybe 3. That's it. And then I want you to see this person's name is Sis Cunny Fan. So true. Zoom in the picture and you see almost everyone there was fat. So both of these tweets had about like 1 to 2,000 likes each, and this person is like a proud lolicon. And they're saying that everybody here is fat, and I'm like, I literally see more people that are not fat than fat. Even if they were fat, so what? Yeah, it's very fucking weird. And then there are a lot of people like these type of guys just like throwing a tantrum on Twitter. It's very fucking weird. Yeah, and it also didn't have any smell. That was the only place in AX that I could tell for sure that did not have any smell, because women take care of their hygiene. And they all got really dressed up. Have your videos see the girls have been divas? Yeah, and then I saw people doing the thing. They're doing the thing where they like catastrophize. They're like, I saw so many girls being really weird with the cosplayers. But then out of the 10 videos I saw, there was only one video that everybody condemned, was the one where the girl jumped on him. Actually, I probably saw more like closer to like 20. And the ones that I saw in person, nobody did that. It was just that. And then you see like these guys that are really upset about it for some fucking reason. They're like, oh, this is the same as sexually harassing them. It's like, you know, you have to consent and you be polite and you have etiquette. Do you just assume that it's unconsensual because that's the only kind of contact you've had in your life? Like, it's, you know, it's 2 consenting adults, right? I should just keep moving. This way? Wait, which way? Yeah, I think it's also they don't understand. Generally, if you go to an idol meet and greet, you're not supposed to grab their ass. If you go to an interactive cosplayer meet and greet, you're also not supposed to grab their ass. However, these are professional posers that are hired by the event to do certain allowed, polite, and gentle interactions that include caressing of the face, chest, upper body, arms, and hands. Nothing below the waist. If you go to an idol meet and greet, you can't touch their tits. Like, do they not understand this? Yeah, it has to be explained. I mean, it has to be explained the same way that a bunch of dudes showed up for the blind date. No, it wasn't a blind. It was like the speed dating thing, and then they got upset that it was mostly men because of the gender ratio being, you know, mostly men, no woman. It's like, did you not notice when you were lining up for it that it was mostly men? Is this kind of like a? Did you think they were hiding the woman in the back? What? Pretty smart, huh? I mean, I don't even know what to, like, yeah. Also, the implication as if women would even go to that, even if Love and Deep Space wasn't even at AX, is fucking hilarious. They would not. Another... The merchandise? I did not look. I felt really bad that there were so many people selling the giveaway bags for like $130 on eBay. It's kind of fucked up. What is this? Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Like if you don't want it, don't get it. Don't get it just to sell. That's weird. I'm not sure where the devs want me to go because it's not clear. What is this? Are they speak? No, they don't speak. Oh, this has a hook? I can't see it. Yeah, I'm just spinning it and I can't. Oh, I see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and then I saw a lot of people, I mean, complaining about Anime Expo as a culture in itself, but apparently there tends to be an uprise of creeps and people going like, yo, look at these hot cosplayers, yo, let's play Smash or Pass on the female staff that are working at the maid cafe or something, looking at the photos, which is very weird. But, you know, the irony of that is there are people who will equivalate it, like make the same equivalence of saying, oh, so girls can go to the Love and Deep Space booth and sexually harass the cosplayers, but guys can't play Smash or Pass looking at pictures of staff working at the maid cafe. It's like, no, those are two different things. You are purposely being dense to conflate the two because you only see this kind of objectification and sexual interest in a very one-sided black and white manner because you are stupid. That's kind of it. Like, there's a difference between an event that is hosted by a professional panel hired professional cosplayers to do certain interactions with the fans that they consent to and signed up for, versus you going to some maid cafe that is worked by volunteers. I don't even know if they're paid, and they're just like girls that just want to dress up as maids and do maid cafe stuff, and you think it's okay to be like, hey, I want to fuck this person. Because the truth is, a lot of the girls that went to the Love and Deep Space booth, me included, I don't give a fuck about the person under the outfit. Like, I don't want to know who they are. I don't want to know who the actor is. I just like the character. If they take off their mask, I'm leaving. I'm not interested. It's like going to, it's like flirty Disneyland. That's it. I don't want to know who it is. I'm not interested in them as a person. I don't want to date them. I don't care about whether or not they are thinking of me after. I think it's the interaction is fun and it's a nice memory, but that's it. It's a fantasy. I saw somebody post a photo of one of the actresses' eyes without the makeup, but they cropped their face, thankfully, so I couldn't see it. And I got the ick. I was like, I don't want to see. This is just a dude. I'm not interested in some random dude. I don't want to know. I think the people that are like, oh my god, what's their name? I want to follow them. What's their Xiao Hong Shu? What's their Instagram? Like, I think that's psychotic. No. You can't be asking for that. I don't want to know. technically he's 6'6". I don't think he's 6'6", no, but he's oh, I died. I think he's, well, I'm 5'6", and I was wearing shoes that are about this thick, so I was probably about 5'8", and he was still pretty tall. I think he's like 6'2". Probably 6'2". Yeah, I would go to more lads events. I would gladly go to more Love and Deep Space events and do the interaction sessions, because I think I have massive brass balls to do interactions that the shy girls are too shy to do, so I want to do it for them so that they can have fun videos to watch. Because when the Shanghai event happened, I was watching all of that on Twitter and I was so happy. I was like, oh my god, the interactions are so cute. But for me, I talked about it yesterday, was the moment I stepped on stage, like on the platform, and I looked at him, I thought, this is a guy. Like, this is a dude. I don't want to take up too much of his time. I want to quickly take a photo and leave so I don't inconvenience him. Yeah. But it's also probably because it's just being in a certain job or a space that has parallels with being perceived and being in the spotlight, there's some understanding in that. But I think, when you see that they're more into it, like when he pulled me in, I was like, oh, okay, like that makes me feel a little more comfortable about it. So I try to, you know, I try to like vibe check it so I don't feel like I'm making them uncomfortable. Oh my god, I need to be able to animation cancel. Oh, I also have another story to tell you guys. When I was at a certain booth and I was kind of backstage and talking with some of my girlfriends there or whatnot, they have a scanner, like metal scanner detector or whatever, and they scan all their gifts that they get. Personally, I would never accept any gifts, but they specifically had a procedure to scan all the gifts to make sure there was nothing hidden inside of certain plushies, whatever trinkets that they get, and I was like, holy fuck, I never even thought about that. The fact that they have to do this, it's trackers, cameras, because one girlfriend told me about how she had a friend, a guy came up to her wearing like mask, he was like very hiding his identity, didn't say anything, didn't introduce himself, gave a gift, left. She took the gift, went home, he showed up at her door. Yeah, they bug it. They literally will put trackers in there. And then apparently there's even more incognito trackers that are even scary, like way harder to detect, so it's even scarier. And I was like, holy fuck, I never even thought about that. That like this is a process that these girls have to consider. Recently happened to K-pop? Yeah. Isn't that a crime? Yeah, police famously follow up with stalkers really well. They are famously known to be very proactive against stalking cases and will do everything in their power to make sure that it doesn't escalate. That's why I always encourage my girlfriends to get a gun. Do I have one? I have multiple guns and taser guns. I actually have one that's in the cute shape of a frog. And it's unlocked, it's so cool. But nothing, but like, it's really sad because there isn't much you can do to prevent being perceived this way. When you just exist as a woman online in these very overwhelmingly male-dominant nerd culture spaces, it's almost expected that you're going to have creeps. It is expected. And if you ask me what the best thing you can do is, the best thing you can do is to be off-putting and unattractive to them. So usually you could just say, I'm a feminist. And then hopefully they don't like you because you say that, and then they go and fixate on a girl who is more soft-spoken and demure because they don't want to rock the boat, which is because they're afraid of being in danger for saying fuck the police or something, you know? Because they might get somebody who thinks, why would you say that? You disagree with my political views? But I thought you were one of us. I don't like that you said that. I'm going to stalk you and sexually harass you and assault you now. Because you betrayed me. And this is a common thing that happens with a lot of, women that are perceived online. Doesn't that attract more creeps? No. Because I'm pretty much proof of that. There's always, every time I talk about this, there's always a guy who will come in here and act like they know it more than I do, and you don't. There is a specific reason that I, out of all the female streamers I have ever known, get way less stalkers ever. I have never had any. I have never had any do anything physically threatening to me ever. Like, ever. Knock on wood. Because I am an outwardly confrontational and very straightforward person, and I will be like, hey, fuck off. I will be hostile. And there is a specific reason that a lot of this, like, sexualization that goes against a female streamer's, like, image. Like, for example, someone, like, that never shows cleavage or whatever because they want to be modest, which is perfectly fine. There will be a certain amount of guys that will like sexualizing them even more as a result of it, because they like the power dynamic of forcing them into an image that they know the girl is uncomfortable with. Because of that, they tend to target more demure, shy, and soft-spoken girls because they are generally way less likely to say anything about it, if at all. They will probably never bring it up. And I don't blame them for it, because when you say something like that, or you try to have a conversation, and your demographic is already 95% creepy men, you will have backlash, and this backlash will escalate and result into you being stalked even more because they feel betrayed, or they feel like you owe them something, and they'll threaten you, basically. And they won't like you, and then they'll lash out and harass you and get really fucking weird, even more so. So this is what it's like. Where the... And I think the best thing, one of the best things that I think, that worked out really well for me is for most of my career, I have been taken, and I'm very public about it, and I feel like that helps a lot because I will never give into the delusion that any of these fucking losers that think they have a chance with a streamer as a viewer, I would never give into that because that is really fucking weird, and I personally would never want to build the demographic of people thinking that they have a chance with me. That is disgusting to me because I do not stream for that audience. The audience I want is people that just have the same hobbies and interests as I do. Play games, chill, and just make jokes, hang out, and we just watch Black Adam every single day, you know, like that. But how to build an audience and demographic like that is really difficult because when you are existing as a woman online, that is never going to be the demographic that you attract first. Especially when you are in a majority male-centric nerd culture space that has been very predominantly men for the past couple decades. The gaming have been around for decades. For centuries. Yeah, for like, online gaming culture has been predominantly men. So when that happens, the only thing that you can do is you have to constantly be very proactive about purging that kind of community from your community. That kind of people from your community. You have to constantly have these conversations that are uncomfortable to hold, be able to articulate really well. You will have to push people away constantly, and that is going to create some level of backlash. Because I can tell you exactly what happened to me and the narrative that shifted around me when I started to notice that, oh my god, there are so many like weird men that were saying things about me. Because I started saying things like, hey, I don't really like these kind of creepy incel people, and I don't really fuck with creepy dudes, and I think they're really fucking weird, and I don't like that. And then, suddenly, the narrative went from, wow, Daph is like, she's not like other girls, she's actually a cool gamer girl, look at her, she's so cool. She's playing Doom instead of Animal Crossing like the other girls, because I think she's cool. Right away, when that happened, which did, by the way, I immediately was like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm playing both Animal Crossing and Doom. You shouldn't think that I'm better than other girls or put me on a pedestal over other women because I don't want to be perceived that way. You're trying to label me as a pick-me because you want to pit me against other women and like say that I'm doing something better, when women should be allowed to just exist without being compared to other people. And it's also really fucking weird. So you call that out, you say that it's not okay, this signals to a lot of other people that, okay, this sentiment is not okay, we don't fuck with that, get this out of here. And then, that's when certain people will start lashing out, going like, yeah, she's like a misandrist. She always talks about how much she doesn't like creepy dudes, it makes the streams unbearable. I heard that she never dates certain guys because she's racist. You know, stuff like that. By the way, funny story. This was years ago. This was like six years ago or so. I posted a screenshot. This was like way before the No Purpose Flower incident. I posted a screenshot of this girl that DM'd me on Instagram that said, this unprompted, by the way, this girl unprompted DM'd me and said, you look like the kind of Asian girl who only dates white guys. And this was when I was a small streamer, this incident. And I said, what? That's not true. I've only dated Asian guys, and I find Asian guys more attractive. From that screenshot, specifically, that I shared at the time because I was like a pretty small streamer, mind you, this was before No Purpose Flower. There started to be a certain bubble of certain guys that started saying things like, yeah, she hates white people. Yeah, she's racist. Yeah, it makes sense why she would have this kind of prejudice towards white people when she has said this in the past. When Crackergate happened, basically. And they pointed to that. And I was like, all I said was that I found Asian men more attractive, and in the past I had only dated Asian men. So yeah, this was what happens. There is a certain, like, extreme, I don't even think it's just limited to race specifically in terms of like a female streamer's dating preferences, whatever. I don't even think it's limited to that, but there's like this fragility that is within male dominant gaming circles that if you say something against it, they will catastrophize it in a way and cry a lot. Yeah, it was really weird. But I do remember that. There was a lot of people like crying. It was very weird. But that also was specifically what led to people making there was like a pretty popular deepfake porn account of me made. And they purposely named it something really close to my name, and they specifically did race fetish play. That they basically did deepfake generated porn of me, pictures of me, and the context of that deepfake porn account was role-playing as me, taking my posts that I was posting on Instagram stories or whatever, and acting like they were me. So if I posted a picture and my outfit and I said, oh, the pants are for this, they would pretend to answer, they would like answer, oh yeah, the pants are for this, like straight up just pretending to be me. And the race play fetishization was basically saying, they were posing as me, degrading Asians, degrading myself as an Asian, and praising whiteness basically, and saying things like, she really wants Caucasian dick and sexual intercourse and stuff like that. They specifically revolved the account around me and this kind of race play. And it's done in retaliation because of this fragility. It got taken down, they tried to make another one, it got taken down again because I do have connections to make sure these accounts disappear. But yeah, that's what happens when you exist as a woman. That's just like what happens. Like the kind of fragility that these weird guys then twist and project into something onto women in these spaces is really fucking creepy. So the best thing you can do is to bar these creepy people from your community and, yeah, send them straight into orbit. And that's kind of why I have no patience for, like, the moment I even smell a little bit of stank on someone. Because I can tell. I actually need to lock in because the dogs keep turning into Cerebuses. I can, yeah, just from, like, one or two comments that a chatter makes, and this seems a little weird, I poke it a little bit, and then it comes out, I'm like, there it is. Like that one, like, my favorite example was that one chatter that said, yeah, I don't feel anything for homeless people. I don't give a fuck about the waiter that brings me my food. I don't care. I don't have compassion for these people because bad things happened to me when I was younger. Life sucks. And then I was like, well, that's a really stupid way, and you are kind of stupid for looking at it like that, because if you expect things in return instead of just having an overall like compassion and understanding for people, you will be a little bit more positive and want to be friends with others. The topic was around making friends with other people. And then they were like, well, obviously you don't even practice what you preach because you called me stupid. So then out of curiosity, I asked them if they were worried about the male loneliness epidemic. And they said, yes, I am. I think I should save my mana. I'm gonna save my mana. Damn, throwing the child at the parent. Thank you so much. But that brings me to the original point of the person that's like, well, when you have these conversations, you're gonna invite performative men, which are worse than creepy men. No, they're not. No, they're not. One line, if we just if we just generalize this, I'd much rather have a line full of performative men with matcha labubus carrying a tote bag than one line with the Zelda shirt wearing shit-stained pants wearing giant backpack unwashed ass line. Even if some of them are performative, they eventually do come out, because when I have these conversations, they'll say something that I'm like, okay, hold on, you don't realize that you're one of these people? Get the fuck out of here. Because you make sure that the really obvious ones are at least out. There is it's still worth it. Holy fuck, there's so many dogs. And with the performative men, I think they're less troglodyte-y. I still don't prefer them, but it's like the lesser of two evils. Yeah, at least they shower. Yeah, and they're more aware. They're like, okay, women are uncomfortable by this. Like, they may have ulterior motives with the performativeness, but at least they actually have more of an understanding, relatively, that women are people. And yeah, they just overall have more social skill. I think the worst part about this is getting stun locked nonstop. We got last. Did you see that one clip of Nemo, the chest reaver, and the one where they got mad when he lost? Oh, that happens a lot. Yeah, there's like the hot girls on Twitch that are giga chess players, and then they go and play guys in public, and then they get fucking schooled, and then they're like slamming shit and like throwing the pieces around. Oh my god. I'll save my They keep spitting babies out. Or about guys that pretend to be a side but flip this when you do stuff. They flip the insults. Not really. It's kind of complicated what a performative man is. But it usually is like somebody that is not genuine about their presentation and their allyship to sisterhood and understanding what women go through. I'll give you an example. Is a performative man would be somebody who will tell you, hey, I had this experience at a gym where like girls were hitting on me and stuff, but as I'm telling you about this uncomfortable experience I have as a man, I am reassuring you that, yeah, even though I had this experience, I know that women go through a lot more, and I know that this is like nothing compared to what you actually go through. But then, suddenly, in the same presentation, will then say something like, yeah, I see this girl around, like, she's always flirting with other guys, even though she has a boyfriend. It's like, your perception of women is a bit strange. Why did you immediately assume that this girl is flirting with other guys when she has a boyfriend? Like, maybe she's not flirting. You're like assuming the worst about her. But then the intention behind telling you that, hey, when I had this bad experience at the gym with a woman hitting on me and I wanted to tell you that I understand the struggles women go through, I don't actually care about the struggles women go through. I only said that because I knew it would get me brownie points with you. That's performativeness. And it's really complicated because the level of performativeness can vary. Yeah, so I think that is the biggest takeaway, is what was their intention with presenting themselves that way with you. And it is usually because they wanted you to think of them better, and that's not who they genuinely are. That's what performativeness means to me. I've met many people like this. I dated someone like that. I've gotten really good at sniffing out strange people. Do performative men struggle in platonic relationships with women? Not necessarily. Like I said, the spectrum of performativeness and the kind of performative men will vary a lot. But the biggest thing is, when we talk about performative men, we mostly talk about them in the context of they seem to present themselves as a feminist and ally to women and understand the struggles that women go through for being a woman. But they present it in a disingenuous way because they want you to think that they're like that, but they're actually not. So a very good example that I witnessed was, for example, someone going like, yeah, I know like women go through a lot, blah, blah, blah. But then in the same vein, we'll say things like, hey, this girl just like tried talking to me. I think she was like flirting with me or something. Oh yeah, that girl, like she used to try to talk to me. I think she wanted to get together with me. Oh yeah, this girl looked at me weird, like I think she was trying to, I think she had a thing for me, but like she was intimidated. You know, stuff like that. Which is all conversations that I fucking heard. It was weird. Yeah, so this is very performative. It, like, you do not actually genuinely have compassion for women, or I would even expand to a broader sense of like, you don't really have compassion for people, you're thinking of them so negatively. It's fucking weird. Yeah. My ex was crazy. Yeah, my ex was crazy types. The bro think he was the shit? I think so. But like, he also hated himself, so I don't fucking know. It was like both. It's very complicated. It's like symptoms of narcissism. They hate themselves, but they also love themselves. It is very manipulative. But the complication around that kind of manipulation, what I notice is sometimes manipulative people don't realize they're being manipulative. Because in their head and how they saw things, they really believed it. And why they believe that is a whole other beast and can of worms to consider. And so when they tell you these things, they're not lying to you because they don't think they're lying, but their reality is so fucking warped. Like, I knew a guy that he saw a tweet that said something like, oh, some people only get roles because they're good looking. And then he immediately thought it was about him. And then he showed me the tweet, and that person, like, didn't even follow him or something. And he was like, this is about me. I think this is about me. And I was like, does this person even know you? And they said, not really. I don't know. I think I, like, seen them around before. And I'm like, are you sure it's about you? Because, like, you don't have to assume that it's about you. I don't know what, like, do you guys even, like, know each other that well? There was a lot of incidents like that was really fucking weird that I started remembering. I would just be going about my day, you know, having a conversation, hang out with somebody, and then they would say something, and I was like, wait, that just reminds me. I forgot this thing had happened. This doesn't fucking add up, this is weird. The dogs are dead.
Let the rage of the Titans drive your rage.
Seems like you've been through hell. Nah. I'm chilling. I'm good. There's nothing I can't handle. But let me see if I can think of any other examples that was like, what the fuck? Oh, please! Oh. As a possible thing, it wasn't a popular tweet. It was like an industry tweet that came from somebody that worked in the industry, and it had like maybe 200, 300 likes. Because my impression of that at the time was, my first question was, does this person even know you? Were you guys familiar with each other? How did you, like, why would you immediately think it's about you? Did you guys interact a lot? Like, I don't know. Was there a not so bright guy I saw who said something about you using big words? Yeah, there was that guy too. He was a fucking idiot. If it's not about me, then why am I seeing it? Yeah. My most recent ex was super. No, that guy I didn't actually date. We just saw each other and like went on a couple of dates here and there and hung out. But then the more I hung out with him, the more I didn't like him. So then after a certain point, I was like, yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna see each other again. Bye.
Ghost of Sparta? It was foretold that you would come. I will not let you reach the sisters. Ah!
Yeah, that was the guy that said transphobic shit unprompted. This was like 7 months ago. What is this? Oh, this is cool.
I will not
Whoa!
let you reach the sisters.
Oh! I see. Yeah, like, I do think it is a symptom of being performative when you would pretend to be, like pretend like you understood the struggles of women, but then tell stories as if you thought every girl was lusting after you. When they just tried to, for example, notice that you were sitting by yourself, tried to have a conversation with you, and then you retold the story as if she was trying to hit on you and get together with you when she actually ended up dating your friend slash roommate, for example.
I will not let you reach the sisters.
Wait, maybe I should do this and then run in.
I will not let you reach the sisters.
How did he jump down so fast? Go back the corridor? This doesn't... Faster?
I will not let you reach the sisters.
I think you, stop time first. Then go.
I will not let you reach the
Oh,
sisters.
you run through the gate. I thought you were supposed to slow it so that you stop him from like open the gate. Okay, yeah, I see.
I will not let you reach the sisters.
Maybe I roll.
I will not
What?
let you reach the sisters.
Yeah, so on the topic of performativeness, there are also women that would do the same thing, that have said horrible fucking things, but then will repeat things like, I love women, I love girlfriends, oh, I love other women. But then will repeat gossip that they heard, like, oh, I heard Hyun has a stinky pussy and like flirts with everybody. Oh, really? What does she do? Yeah, she always plays games. And there's guys in those lobbies. And I'm like, what? You can't just say, you can't like be relaying that about somebody and that's your reason why and like tell multiple people this. When you are a girl yourself who have been subjected to perception in a negative light and relayed with bad faith, how could you do this to somebody else when you don't even know the story being relayed? I don't fuck with those kinds of people.
Not let you reach the sisters.
Also, I rolled into the back rooms for a second. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Jam? No, it doesn't fit.
I will not let you reach the sisters.
Go to the painting and then time slow? But I can't time slow from the painting. It faces this way. maybe I have to do it this way. So then I can stand here and do it.
I will not let you reach the sisters. I will not let you reach the sisters. I will not let you reach the sisters.
I don't really fucking know what happened. Oh.
I will not let you reach the sisters.
Hello. Yeah, like there was a girl I knew that kept accusing another girl I knew of not being a girl's girl, and she would tell other people like, hey, Becky's not a girl's girl. Becky's not a girl's girl. Becky's not a girl's girl. Oh, what does she do? Becky's not a girl's girl. Becky's not a girl's girl. And then proceeded to lie and make shit up, have no proof for anything, just completely making shit up constantly.
Read the words.
Hear me, noble sisters who forge our destinies. Another seeks an audience to change their fate. As proof that he is worthy. No, Kratos! This will be the end of us all! You must stop!
Read!
This is your purpose. Die with honor.
I give my blood to illuminate the way.
Titty.
Kratos, like the fiery phoenix who is resurrected from his ashes, you too search for a second chance at life. Find these ashes and free the phoenix. Only
Yeah,
then
move
will
out.
you find the path to the Temple of the Face.
But yeah, that's basically why I tweeted a couple weeks ago, the best people that you will be friends with are people that are not afraid to have direct conversations with you about whatever uncomfortable situation, awkward thing that happened. You could bring it up to them and they will respond with an open mind. Because what had happened with, I'll use the Becky situation as the example, was, so let's say Becky, it's Becky and, I need another name, fucking Becky and Tracy. So, Becky found out Tracy was saying all kinds of shit behind her back. Becky found out, because things were getting relayed back to her, like, hey, this and this happened, this and this happened. And then Becky managed to put two and two together because there was an overlap with all the information. And when she found out about this, she had asked them about it. And they said, don't worry. Tracy said, don't worry, I'll handle it. It's all okay. Becky then wants to go and talk to the other people that were misunderstanding her and wanted to clear things up. So she went and directly talked to them like, hey, I just want you to know there's no misunderstanding. This is what happened, blah, blah, blah. Tracy then loses her fucking mind and starts spreading even more shit. Naturally, this is a very negative experience. Becky, when hanging out with other girls, start to tell other people, yeah, so I was having communication issues with this person who then relayed horribly about things about me in horrible faith, this is what happened, blah blah, and tried to remain very neutral stance with lots of screenshots and lots of receipts. And Tracy then starts saying things like, I told you not to talk to anybody. I can't believe all you want to do is farm drama. You are not a girl's girl, and you're a horrible person and a horrible friend, and you betrayed my trust. But all this happened was because, initially, Tracy never should have catastrophized everything and instigated. And they immediately deflected all that blame onto Becky. So this is something that happens a lot, is somebody will cause something, and then you try to go like, hey, actually, let me just directly talk to these people about it. And it ends up making it worse because the people that were involved do not have that level of critical thinking and analysis and like understanding of consequences and self-awareness and accountability. I think accountability is a big thing. And they'll just be like, no, you're crazy. Like, can you imagine, how would you react if I told you, hey, you were hanging out with George? By the way, the other day George said you were really fucking weird because, you didn't offer to buy him a drink and he was right there. And he said you were, like, really weird and he didn't like that and, like, he really didn't like you. So now as a result, you're like, oh, does George not fuck with me? Like, I didn't know this was such a misunderstanding. What happened? So you go and talk to George like, hey, I just want to know, like, are we cool? Is everything okay? And George says, yeah, everything's fine. Like, it's all good. Like, no big deal. I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't think much of it at all. No big deal. It's cool. And then they find out that you talked to George. Now they're mad at you for that. So what do you think, what conclusion can you draw from that as a result? Is you never fucking hang out with that bitch that said George had some shit against you. Because she is fucking mentally ill. Because this is, and for context, this is somebody who always says that about people. Because they have a talent for perceiving things in a negative way, making it worse, and then relaying it. This is a very, very bad thing to do. And that's why I learned how to stay away from people. Those kinds of people. But when you get better at recognizing let me make this. When you start to hang out with good people who are genuine, you find them more. Oh, there we go. Fuck. Shit. Oh, maybe the lever first? Some people are very talented at making everything seem shit-stained. Like the one, like, ex-friend that I had that tried to, like, start shit between me and two other girls by going like, yeah, I was talking about you, and she, like, didn't ask anything else about you. That was so weird, right? Right? It was so weird, right? And I'm like, I don't know, I don't really care. I was like, why would you fucking present it to me like that, you fucking weirdo? Go fuck yourself. Yeah, what a shit stirrer. It's like, that's literally, I'm not even kidding, that is word for word a scene from Mean Girls, and that was a man. Yeah, vicious bitchery. like, you don't really like them, right? Because of that? Because I'm like, I don't. Weird. What the fuck? Thing 0 score in Raggy. This person wouldn't stop talking about you. I think they're obsessed and that's so weird. So they literally did talk about somebody else like that also, which was fucking hilarious. Like, they actually did say that about somebody else, but not about me. Like, they did present somebody that talked highly about someone as if they were obsessed with them, but they were good friends. And they just really liked them, and they were just like always saying shit about someone. Like, dude. But yeah, naturally I found out this person was, they were like telling people, this was the same ex-friend that was telling people that I was crazy and that I was like unmedicated and mentally ill, which is not true. Because I had heard from Basil that when we were on a trip together, I didn't want to waste time to sit and wait for them to make breakfast for us because I really wanted to go do my itinerary because I was the one that put together the trip. And so they said, yeah, Daph is crazy, she's mentally ill, she is unmedicated, and she's crazy. Yeah, Basil, she told me about that. And the thing about Basil telling me this is Basil barely knew me and this person. I was like, the fuck? I can't parry these guys. Is this real? No, this was a while ago. I am very far away from these people now, thankfully. And I could not be happier with the friends I have now. Why do people keep on with asking that? Because there's a specific reason. And I think I've like theorized about this before. There is a reason why people tend to gravitate towards that kind of attitude and behavior. And it is insecurity and the fear of being unliked. I'm not paying attention. That's why people say having a small bunch of friends, but not having a lot of friends. Generally, it's because if you have a lot of friends, you're probably doing less quality control, because if you're making friends for the sake of having a lot of friends, then you're prioritizing the amount of friends versus the quality. However, you can have a lot of really good friends, which is what I have, because it's easy to make friends and have good friends when you recognize good traits and you don't stir shit with people because you learned what that leads to, and you learn to navigate it, and you learn to not infect other people with that kind of negativity that you weren't even realize you were doing, which is very very important to learn. But my theory for why some of the people in the past in my life were so instigatory was because they had some kind of deep fear of being not liked. So in the very specific sense is they found out that I didn't really like them because they were constantly being disingenuous, they were constantly being like unconfrontational, they were constantly spreading stories that were not true or like giving very one-sided recollection of things. And as a result, I distanced myself. And they knew that I didn't like them because I had confided in friends that knew both of us, like, hey, I don't like this person because of this, 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 and this, giving very specific examples. They knew. So in retaliation, they wanted to protect their ego or maybe pad their ego a little bit by saying, well, it's justified that we don't like each other because I don't like her either. And I don't like her because she's crazy and she said this to me one time and she is just fucking crazy. Yeah, so it's like that. People who have a deep fear, of being unliked and people pleasers may be one of the most terrible people to be friends with, because if they have an issue with someone, they won't say anything. They'll let it simmer, they'll let it build up to resentment, and then they will then like just say shit to people because they're so terrified and insecure. That's the biggest thing. Insecure people will be the worst people that you come across. By far. Insecure people are horrible, horrible friends. Void, my boy? I put your watermelon drink in the fridge. I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. Why are they so tanky? Please give me health. Oh my god, thank god. Actually, one of my good friends recently, or not recently, but this was, I guess like recent and relative to my life, told me that they felt really safe being friends with me and that they don't have any anxieties and they feel comfortable being my friend, that if they ever have any issues, they know they can talk to me comfortably. And I was like, this is the best thing a good friend could ever say to me. That's like the highest praise a friend could have. And it meant a lot. I actually saved a very relevant reel that is about this too. I think I must be in like developed frontal lobe talk or something. Big spin. Huh? Wait, I was here. This? There's ceiling traps. Mamma mia. What is this? Really? They're just trolling me? Yo! I can't. It just didn't let me interact with it. Insecure people that don't do anything about it live a cursed life. Yeah, because they don't know how to do anything about it because they're very good at being woe is me. You ever like date somebody or have a friend and you're like, hey, I think there are some things that you can improve, that like there's an issue with this, and this, you point out and you're like nice about it and you try to have a conversation about it. Then there's a couple of things and you've had this conversation a few times. Maybe it's about different things, maybe about the same thing. Then suddenly I hit you with the, so I can't do anything right. You always have an issue with me. I can't do anything. Like, I'm always doing something wrong. I feel like I have to walk on eggshells around you, blah, blah, blah. And the problem with that is, you bring it up to them, and I'm hoping that this is how you bring it up to them. You're like, hey, I feel like this can be worked on, blah, blah, blah. And you're not saying it in like, hey, I think you're a fucking idiot, and you need to fucking fix this because you're a fucking loser. I'm assuming that you're being reasonable about it, because in my experience, I was like, hey, I think, like, you know, for one, if you're financially struggling, maybe you should look for other sources of revenue, and this is stressful, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so I'm always doing something wrong, like, I can't be myself around you, I'm always walking on eggshells when I'm talking to you, blah, blah, blah. Some people are addicted to this feeling of misery, and being helpless. And that if you point that out to them, they'll then use therapy speak to tell other people that you were crazy. I don't know. Yeah, the woe is me types and the insecure types, they go hand in hand. I hope they're making Black Adam 2. I'm sad. Okay, I'm dead. Mamma mia. Maybe I don't use a stomp. Yeah, why are these skeletons so tanky? And you have to do an execute, you just can't just kill them? Oh no, there you go. Yeah, the stomp was actually griefing me. And I thought it was stronger too. Did that skeleton just laugh? They're actually laughing, trolling. Stand over here. Spins your spin? I don't think he died. Oh my god, there's more. You're actually trolling. You make you feel like you're walking actually is one of the worst feelings in the world. Yeah, but the counterpoint is there are some people who are addicted to taking the path of eggshell when there's a perfectly fine footpath next to it. and they purposely want to walk on, like, they're like putting spikes down and then walking on it and then saying that you put the spikes down, and you're like, you know, you could just move them. And they're like, no, you made me put it there. Like, no. Yeah, the picture of the bird in a cage with 2 bars. Like there was I have a very good example of this, was someone telling me, they're like, yeah, I feel like, as somebody in this certain creator space, I have to make reels, but I don't want to make reels because I'm scared you'll find them cringe, so I haven't been able to make any. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Did I ever tell you that they're cringe? Did I ever, like, say that you shouldn't or was judgmental about it? They're like, no. I was like, then why did you just assume that? Like, why did you put words in my mouth and then cry about it as a result of it? Like, what? Yeah, I was like, what? If anything, I encourage them to. I was like, what the fuck? What a pussy. But I think it was very ironic because they were actually more judgmental about other people's content than I ever was. So I think it was, like I said, insecure people and projections of bitterness. You gotta stay away from those kinds of people. No! Yeah, boy, it really is. Like, you gotta stay away from those kinds of people, man. They're fucking weird. They will make your life and your thinking worse. And they will make your attitude worse. Because Kratos' animation is so long with this, I gotta actually kill them in... Yeah, I gotta kill them efficiently. Please. No! They nerf square triangle. Oh, I do remember one of my exes would yell at me. Not all the time, but sometimes, and slam doors and stuff. And one of them, one time, like, completely unprompted in an argument was like, you just wish I was... name of my ex before. So bad. And I was like, we didn't even, like, talk about this person. It came out of fucking nowhere. Like, what? This has nothing to do with that person. The fuck? Please, Kratos, I don't have the extra seconds for you to twirl some more with the chains. Even thinking about it though, yeah. Was it true? No, I haven't even thought about that person. I was like, what the fuck? It, like, it gave me whiplash. But that was a really weird thing to say. Because it wasn't even related to the context of the argument. And I don't think there's like a point in going like, oh, like in this argument they're more right than more. It's like, no, it's that one specific line particularly was very fucking weird. Remember it because he was probably right? What? But I don't even like any of my exes. I remember it because I was like, how fucking ridiculous are you to even bring up this person? How insecure could you be? Oh, that chatter's been saying fuck shit for an hour? Oh, they're probably one of those weird dudes that are worried about the male loneliness epidemic. They've been baiting? Oh. You know, so when I go to places like Anime Expo, one of my favorite things to do, or like TwitchCon, one of my favorite things to do is look at the meet and greet lines and panel audiences of certain subjects, streamers, and companies. I love taking a good look at the people and faces of certain circles to really get a good look at that kind of demographic. And then I apply that face to these comments that I read. And it is very validating. You're a loser. And I know what you look like. And you will remember that I said this. What the fuck? It didn't. He just grabbed air for a second. A bit crinkly. This is fucked. I gotta restart. I found that there's a lot of like, there's creepy guys that really, they're so desperate for attention from streamers that they will say anything to get a response, which is pretty much the foundation of this kind of rage bait. So this is why I say, when you go to Anime Expo, when you go to TwitchCon, when you go to those kinds of events, take a good look at some of the people in the crowds. Those are the people with no friends, no Discord groups, no group chats, nobody to text. That's them. They are social rejects and outcasts. And they can't name even 2 people that like them. Why did he not grab it? I press R1 and then the prompt just disappeared. Great. Wouldn't lump outcasts on there? No, I would, because sociable outcasts are enjoyable among the company of other sociable outcasts. If you don't have friends, it's because you're not a very likable person. It's really that easy. And if that offends you, you should probably look inward. It's very easy to make friends. But what if I live somewhere and I have no limbs? And I live somewhere where they discriminate against people with no limbs specifically? Still, like I said, skill diff. And that's the demographic you don't want festering in your community, because they're like legitimately just fucking weird, socially inept people. Imagine getting schooled on social etiquette by a fucking Twitch streamer, dude. That's fucking embarrassing. This level specifically highlights the problem of them not making Kratos' animations cancelable. You have to wait for it to fully play through if you do kill the enemies early. Maybe normal attack? Let me try the thunder thingy. I think that's a little better. This is much better. I forgot about the other magic, to be honest. Oh, fuck you, the wheel! Yay! Wow, they actually give way more money now. Yeah, let me save. Let me save. Oh, it's so shiny. The blades. Hey. Ooh, that looks cool. I like this because it's fast. Some of the other animations are way too long. Oh shit. Schedule clip viewing. The Flash? You get older, you find it easier or harder to find good friends? I have been making too many friends that my schedule has been so jam-packed with constantly hanging out with, like, rotating among 5 different groups of friends. The reason it's harder or easier isn't gonna be because of your age, but your experience in reading people and understanding social dynamics and people and how they behave. I actually think it's easier. Kratos from Mortal Kombat? Yeah, Clive from Tekken. I mean, depending on your job, I would say try not to make friends with people from your job. Or if you want to be friends with them, make sure they're from a different department and you work separately. But if you have kids, it's actually pretty easy because your kids can hang out with other kids and then you can set up playdates with other parents. Wait for your kids and then you hang out with them just because your kids are friends. What the? Shit's so fast. Don't put your mouth where the shit eats. Yeah, and hopefully your kids are friends with somebody who has nice parents that you want to be friends with. Hobbies are friend generators, they are, but most people that complain about it being hard to find friends, and they do have the time, that specific subgroup of people, they want their friends to just like, they want like a deliver Uber Eats friends service to just show up at their door. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. You will have to go out of your comfort zone. Wait. Who wants friends? Me. Who wants to sacrifice convenience for community? Oh. Ooh. Oh my god. And it doesn't even kill them. I'm just gonna wait for their... I don't want to get stuck in a long animation. Oh my god. Blech! No. He can't animation cancel with the parry, which makes this very fucking annoying. So you basically just have to AFK. Is this game better than God of War Ragnarok? That's a really good question, because it's not. Do you have any other questions? That didn't even parry. You can't even block it normally either. I don't want to be caught in animation when they do their thing. Okay, bye. The things would I change? Well, first of all, parry should have animation priority, same with rolling. What's the point? Fuck. What's the point of adding all these cool combos when doing it gets you hurt way more than actually executing it? At that point, then you just simply will not use it because you will get completely fucked over. You just insta-die because you're getting caught in a bad spot. Enemies need to have less instant blocking, iframing, and immediate dodging because it just gets turn-based. So when you successfully parry or something, or after certain animations, they shouldn't immediately recover and just be immune. Because then that makes it into a turn-based game, and there's nothing worse than just waiting for an enemy in a game where you're not supposed to be, because this should be a hack and slash. The flow of combat is very important in these kinds of games. So I mean, these guys are just jobbers. But when you fight the more tanky enemies, they will just block. So then at that point, you don't even attack. You just have to play reactively. What is this? Are we just flying?
The ashes of the phoenix. Only fire will set him free.
Is there ever DMC bosses? Yeah. I think for current gen games of that kind of combat, it is hard to balance between it not being a turn-based game, but also giving the player enough actions and combat hit opportunities. So what I mean by this is, when you play Dark Souls 3, it is very turn-based, and I don't think that level of combat is good now. Because From Software pretty much popularized that level of combat to the point of, if it, like, you take a lot of damage and it's very difficult and you have to be very careful. However, you should have more tools to reward high skill, high reward. So generally, my preference for intense action combat would be if you time things well, very, very well, you get rewarded for that. So in hack and slash games, they'll usually have some kind of perfect parry, perfect dodge, where you will have a follow-up as a result. Or a certain weapon will have, if you do this specific move, you are rewarded. With Dark Souls, you know that generally what most people do is you roll, attack, roll, attack, roll, 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 attack. That's kind of it. You don't really make your own openings. Games that let you make it your own opening are much better. Yeah, so Sekiro is very, very good, because it is also the intensity of attack, attack, parry, 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 attack, attack is also very fast, which is good. So that means the ratio of it being turn-based is less. When a game is not meant to be turn-based, but the ratio of it being turn-based is high, it's not good, because that's not what it should be. Generally, you want to have a constant back and forth for the player to input. Otherwise, you're just gonna be like, now I'm just jacking off waiting for the boss to spin 5 times because I know I can't do anything about it. A better way would be the boss has 2 different kinds of spin attacks. One spin attack, sure, it's unavoidable, you just gotta learn to get the fuck out of the way. Second spin attack, if you parry it or block it or dodge out of the way in a specific way, you can rip off one of its limbs and start attacking earlier because it gets staggered. Like, for example, that is more interactive. That is something that a lot of Souls-like copycat devs have trouble balancing, because they think what makes a Souls game good is just the fact that it's difficult and you take 2 hits to die. But I think the current meta and where action games are going is people are getting really fucking good at games. You have to do more than give a combat loop of just attack, wait, attack, wait, attack, wait. You have to give the character or the player tools to create their own openings so that they feel rewarded for a high level gameplay, high ceiling, high risk, high reward, high ceiling, and have more constant on hand action instead of just going like, okay, well now I have to just fucking wait. Like, that sucks. But then at the same time, the reason those games are so hard to balance is because tedium is another thing. It's like cooking a perfect amount, it's like cooking a perfect ratio of all that combined. What is that? Tedium, so what I would describe tedium would be, you're fighting a boss, it's very high intensity, and you are having fun with it. It's very fun. Except you have to do it for 20 minutes straight. But if it was instead only 10 minutes, it's great. But for some reason, they seem to think that adding this level of tedious makes it harder, therefore it's better. And they didn't balance that tedium better. Yeah, so HP sponges is tedium. Like an example of tedium. Yeah, so this character, you can hear it when he's just auto-blocking, so then I have to just wait to parry. So then I can knock him over and actually get hits in, otherwise he just immediately blocks. I have to just wait. Maybe I can sneak a hit in. Come here. What is this? What if I break the chain? Oh, it's shining. Almost all gets the Harmonyku's HP sponge. That is a... Wait, are the chains not breakable? They're shiny. So, one of the problems with the Ghosts of Yote was the lethal level difficulty, which is technically the highest difficulty. It's like kind of a difficulty on its own, because it makes not only it makes both you and the enemy glass cannons, and this was a difficulty that they had in Ghost of Tsushima that I really enjoyed, because you are very lethal, enemies are very lethal. You have to play everything precisely, but you can kill everything in like 1 or 2 hits, at most 3 or 4. However, in Ghosts of Yote, they didn't balance it properly. They made it so that you still die in 1 to 2 hits, but then the enemies take 6 to 8 hits to kill. So at that point, that's not lethal anymore. They're lethal to you, you're just a fucking loser. And you're hitting them with a fucking pool noodle. So then that sucks. Can I break this? Why are those chains deceptively shiny? Yeah, then that's just a pain in the ass. And that, I found that very disappointing. Yeah, you see what happens if I try to go out of turn? So this basically reinforces the turn-based combat, where there shouldn't be turn-based. See if I can set him. Let me move him on. That's good. What are they that was ahead of force it away from the attacks and waste time? And that in itself is okay, but the problem is if all enemies or most enemies in the games do that. If most of your gameplay is like as smooth flowing as Sekiro, having a like a gimmick enemy where you have to jack off for 10 seconds before you tag is fine, as long as that isn't the majority of the gameplay. And that's why balancing gameplay focused action heavy combat games is probably the hardest thing to do. What is this? Maybe I can shoot the thing. Wait, I don't have a bow in this. No, yeah, I do. Is this breakable or not? Why is it shiny? I didn't make a combat just stun lock all the enemies? Wait, what makes you say that? Are you asking that because you think that's what I'm implying, or are you just asking that? Just asking? But you don't make a game where you stun lock every enemy. Are you stupid? What a fucking moronic comment. That's how hack and slash works? No, the fuck it isn't. Hey, can you go back to a Goo Goo Gaga stream, please? You obviously don't understand the level of articulation and nuance needed for this level of discussion. Maybe I recommend Super TF stream? Please. I do think a lot of gamers are like legitimately fucking brain damaged and very fucking stupid because and it was very, very obvious when I played Silent Hill F and seeing some of the comments and like chatters, and I can give you very specific examples because I have very good memory about these things. Is somebody going like, I don't like the Silent Hill. Why? It doesn't feel like Silent Hill. What makes a Silent Hill game a Silent Hill? I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it. What? Oh, I don't like the writing in this game. What specifically about the writing did you not like? There was this one line that this voice actor said in the dubbed version that just didn't sound right. It just, so you'd think the whole writing of the entire game is bad because one line didn't sound right in the dubbed version. Yeah. Or so in other ways, another way is like, when I say a game's combat doesn't feel great, I get very specific about it. The problem that I had with Silent Hill F's combat was when you dodge, her movement and the momentum of her movement makes you feel slower than it actually is. So the animation needed to be either faster or slower at certain points so that it feels smoother. But because she stumbles a little bit, the movement into the melee combat is very awkward. And the direction of her, where she like will only move in a straight line or something. I remember having a specific issue with that and like how she swung certain weapons or whatever. And I was very specific about it. But when you ask a lot of gamers what combat they liked, why they like something, why they don't like something, they can't answer beyond just being very vague. They'll just say, it was clunky. How was it clunky? It didn't feel good. Why did it didn't feel good? I don't know. So I can tell you why the combat in this doesn't feel good, is because when I'm swinging one of my combos that I fucking got paid the upgrade for with the orbs, you have to wait for that fucking long-ass combo to finish, and then you end up being vulnerable because there are enemies with super armor that won't get staggered by it, that will hit you, so then you can't finish it, so then thereby you are less incentivized to use long combos to continue a certain combo. Then in that case, wouldn't you want it so that you want certain abilities to cancel animations so that he won't have like a 30-second uninterruptible spin because sometimes you're like, oh shit, the enemy's about to attack, I gotta stop spinning right now. You can't do that. So that doesn't feel good. Like that. Oops. I gotta do this first. Can't see it from here. Yeah, and that's why it actually is why persuasive essay writing and critical thinking skills are very important. Being able to articulate and understand why you don't like something or like something and make a convincing point is a skill that a lot of people don't have. They literally don't know how to apply any of this. So then they'll be the ones that Nolan is making movies for, and why he has to have a character that just explains everything that's being done, because people literally don't fucking know. Yeah, then you, like, if you understood that, then you would understand why that was a really stupid question to ask. Because at no point was anything even implied that every combat encounter should be you permanently stun-locking them. I specifically said that there should be more openings for a player, that if they're able to create more openings as a result of being able to do high-skill gameplay, and having high skill ceilings and high risk, high reward types, it makes the gameplay and combat more engaging than if you had to wait for a turn-based combat. Wait, oh, hold on, I'll wait for this one. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, that's why I was like, what a dumb question. Fuck you. What does this even do? The thing in the middle. Oh, well. What does this even do? Can I break this? Okay, oh. Chains break? They're not fucking breaking. I mean, I don't know if I'm doing enough damage. They're shiny. But also, why can't I push that in slow-mo? I don't know. It was hard to see the gate. Alright, I daddle. What is that? this guy doing? He's gonna get? I hope not. Oh, ow. I thought I would get iframes. Oh, actually, it went through. That was weird. What did that do? Oh. I think the... I think the boulder room is worse. Fuck are these rooms? Vibes-based rooms, yeah. Back rooms, Anthem style. Why are the Skeletors just laughing? Stop. Oh, ow. This ate shit. The skeletons, they laugh. Skeletons can't laugh. Are they stupid? Where the fuck am I? How did I even get here? I don't even remember. Where are we? Oh. Wow, I just put that there perfectly already. Like the legend of the peanuts. Do I need to kill him? Bye. Okay. Okay, How close am I to the end? Anybody know? Like 3 hours left? Close. Yeah, I'll save it for next time. We gotta go put a baby in the microwave. Like the legend of the peanuts. Like... Like... Black Adam Part 2. I'm gonna go pee real quick. This has gotta be ass. Wait, Batman's in this? Wow, this is long. Okay.